In exercise 1, we are asked to circle the right answer to the question. Which instrument is smaller than the flute? Well, the oboe is bigger, cor anglais bigger, the harp is so big that it's bigger than me. So the answer is piccolo, which in fact in Italian means small. To which instrument the cor anglais is related? And the answer is oboe, because it's very similar and it has many things in common. What is the orchestral family of the harp? Well, definitely we don't hit the harp to produce sound. We don't blow to the harp, so we actually pluck the strings. So it is a string instrument. Finally, which woodwind instrument has a single reed? Well, the flute doesn't have it at all, and the oboe has double reed, bassoon also double reed, so the only one is the clarinet. And there you go. The first exercise is answered. Let's move on to exercise 2. Okay, in this exercise we are asked to insert a D or an I to show whether the percussion instruments are able to produce definite pitches or indefinite pitches. And definite pitches is a pitch that is a note. So there is an equivalent note on the piano or another instrument of the same compass, or indefinite pitch is when there is no note for it. So it is not possible to reproduce a sound within the stave. The bass drum is indefinite. The triangle is also indefinite, and by the way guys, most of these instruments are able to produce only one sound, so they can't make two or more sounds. Celesta is a definite pitch because actually it can it's like a piano, it's a sort of piano, so it has lots of notes. It can play loads of sounds, lots of pitches, so definitely is a definite pitch instrument. The castanets is indefinite because it's like a tick, 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 very much used in Spanish music. Very characteristic. Marimba is a definite pitch because also this one is a sort of vibraphone with a different sound like celesta. Side drums, this is surely indefinite because it's like a tuk tuk tuk, like a drum. Yeah, all the drums are indefinite basically. The xylophone is another kind of percussion instrument that can produce lots of pitches like vibraphone, like marimba or celesta, so definite. The tambourine is also indefinite because tambourine and drums are basically the same thing. It's like a circled instrument that we hit and then we produce just one sound. It could be a different tones, a different timbres, but surely they can produce more than one sound. And it could be also called a noise because there's no note for that. Timpani, that is definite, and the reason is because the timpani can produce, they can be tuned as well. You can move a handle somewhere around the circle and you can change the pitch. You can also find this in Also sprach Zarathustra by Strauss. You can see that it does a dun 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 dun, so that is really famous. And to make these kinds of sounds that we can actually sing, They must produce definite pitches. Tam-tam is indefinite because also the sound is, the name is really characteristic. The name also tells us that this is a noise, it's not really a sound or a note. Anyway, so that's all done for you. Let's turn the page together. Exercise 3 focuses on transposing instruments, and then they ask us to tick where the box in that corresponds with the right answer to the question, are these instruments transposing or non-transposing? Let's have a look. The violin is non-transposing, so the written pitch is the concert pitch. In other words, the transposing instruments are those that read a note and produces another pitch, a different one. For example, the clarinet in B flat reads C, but the sound that produces is B flat, so it's a major second down. Or the clarinet can also be in A, and this means there is a minor third below because they read C, but in fact the sound that they produce is A. It could also be in E flat, and that means the third above. Or the horns, they are a fifth below. So horn in F means that they on the score they read C, and they pretend to play C, but in fact they play F, the F below C, so a fifth below. So let's have a look. The cello is non-transposing because what they read, they produce. The flute is also non-transposing, and here it is the clarinet. It is a transposing instrument. We said that there is a clarinet in B flat, in A, and so forth. So it is a transposing instrument. And so is the cor anglais. The bassoon is not a transposing instrument because a fagotto player would read and play the same pitch. The horn, I've just said that. Yes, it is. And trumpet as well. Yes, trumpets could be in A, could be absolutely. Yeah, they can transpose. In B flat as well. And timpani is non-transposing because the sounds that they read on the score is the same of what they produce. So the written pitch corresponds with the concert pitch. So what we hear. That's all. Let's move on to exercise 4. And don't forget, if you have any questions, write them in the comments below. In exercise 4, we are asked to circle true or false for each of the statements. The voice with the highest range is the alto, and that is so wrong because the treble clef, it's treble, it means high, so false. The mezzo soprano is lower in range than soprano. Yes, it is, because soprano is the highest and mezzo soprano is nearly soprano. Now, I have published a short on YouTube, and you can find it in the link below or via the card up here, and it is about this word mezzo. You can watch it, and it's very quick. It's 55 seconds, and it tells you everything you need to know about this word mezzo once for all. Now, mezzo soprano means nearly soprano, so almost a soprano. So yes, this is true. It's lower, slightly lower. The baritone is the voice with the lowest range, and this is incorrect because the bass is the bass, the lowest. Basso means low, so bass is the lowest, so false. The bass is lower than the tenor, and that is correct, yes. Tenor is the highest, then we have baritone, and then we have bass. This is the order. The types of voices and their names are the same as the clefs. If you want it to be proved, go and watch my videos 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D. The playlist is linked in the description below or up here, and they tell us how high the instruments that read in these clefs are in comparison with middle C, of course. So the tenor is a higher voice than the alto clef, and that is incorrect because the tenor is a male voice and the alto clef is for women, so this is false. The baritone is higher than the bass, so that is correct because the bass is the lowest, so definitely true. Okay, here we are, all done. Let's turn the pages together. In this exercise, we are asked to circle the correct answer for each question. Which clef is used by the viola usually? Well, the viola reads in the alto clef. And the reason is because it's a bit lower than the violin, and so the violin uses the treble clef and the alto clef is slightly lower, so the alto clef. Which one is a percussion instrument? Definitely not the viola. There is a string instrument. This is also a string instrument. This is a woodwind. So the answer is castanets, and they are played like that, like that. Very used in Spanish music, as I said. To which family does the piccolo belong? Now, the piccolo, as I said before, the meaning of piccolo as a word is small, and as I said before, is a smaller version of the flute, so it is a woodwind instrument. The lowest sounding string instrument is double bass, and it says in the name, it says that it's double low, so of course bass, because it could be very, very low, so it's twice as low. Okay, that's the meaning of that name. Or contrabass, that's another word for double bass. Contrabass and double bass are the same. Which instrument can play pizzicato? Well, you must have strings for play pizzicato, because pizzicato means this. When pizzicato, tuck, this. So this is the gesture that we do. We basically pluck the strings. This is the gesture, but pizzicato means this, like beaten. And so the only one, not timpani, that's a percussion instrument. We blow for these two instruments, so the only one is the cello, because the cello has the strings, it's a string instrument, and the strings could be either plucked or stroked with a bow. Which voice is higher than the alto? Well, the highest voice is soprano here. The tenor, baritone and bass are all male voices, so soprano. There you go. And with this exercise, we have finished chapter 7. This chapter includes also a challenge and a test, a grid where you can write the instruments that you remember and all the details relating to them. The challenge on page 66 asks you to write the instruments that you remember from the lowest to the highest and divided in families. And if you want, you can do that. Send it over. If you want, I can make a post of them, or I can share it with all the other learners of the world. Thank you very much, and don't forget that you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and you can visit my website theoryvirtuoso.com. Thank you very much. Bye bye.